This is Radio Nepal. I'm KAUSHAL GHIMIRE with the news. The headlines first. CPN Maoist Centre Chairperson Prachanda proposes name list of 236 Central Committee members. Prime Minister Shabada Dewa stresses on guarantee of rule of law and human rights for development of democracy. Health Ministry urges concerned bodies to adopt additional precaution to curb spread of Omicron variant of COVID-19. Separate road accidents in Palpa, Mahottari and Sarlahi kill 14 people, and Sudan's Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok announces his resignation just weeks after he was reinstated in a controversial deal with the military. Now the news in detail. CPN Maoist Centre Chairperson Pushpakamal Lal Prachanda has proposed the name list of 236-member Central Committee. Chair Prachanda proposed 125 names towards proportional quota, while 111 names towards open quota in the ongoing National General Convention of the party. The Central Committee will be formally confirmed if the convention endorses the name list. Earlier yesterday, General Convention of the party elected chiefs of 3 different commissions of the party. As a Presidium member, Ganesh Shah tabled the names of the proposed leaders. The closed-door session of the General Convention approved them unanimously. Leader Shah tabled the names of the chiefs of the members of the Accounts Committee, Election Commission and Disciplinary Commission. Bishnu Pukar Shrestha would lead the party's Election Commission, while Tanka Rai is named the chair of the Disciplinary Commission. Similarly, Peshal Khatiora is now the chair of Accounts Commission of the party. The committees consist of 25 members each. Prime Minister Shabada Dewa has stressed the need for guarantee of the rule of law and human rights for the development of democracy. Addressing a program organized by the Ministry of Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs yesterday, Prime Minister Dewa sought additional commitments from the concerned bodies to ensure democracy with human rights and rule of law. The Prime Minister also vowed to amend revise the existing laws as per the spirit of international laws and conventions. On the occasion, human rights activist Sailendra Prasad Harijan from Kapil Bastu and Sakti Group were honoured with this year's Human Rights Award. The Nepali Congress has called its Central Working Committee meeting for 2 p.m. today. According to the party office chief secretary Krishna Prasad Paudel, the meeting would take place at the party central office, Sanepa. Meanwhile, Prime Minister and Party President Shabada Dewa has nominated party leaders Jiban Bahadur Sahi, Pradeep Paudel and Kalyan Kumar Gurung as the party's Central Committee members. The Ministry of Health and Population has urged all the concerned bodies to adopt additional precaution in a bid not to allow the spread of Omicron variants of COVID-19. Writing letters to Province Health Directorate of all the provinces and to the districts' health offices in all districts yesterday, the ministry called on the bodies to implement health safety measures, identify the risk zones and expand testing scope in a bid to stem the spread of Omicron variants. The ministry has also asked the concerned bodies to carry out COVID-19 tests in the people entering Nepal via border entry points, vaccinated the left-out target groups and monitor the infected people in quarantine and isolation centers. Meanwhile, a total of 216 new cases of COVID-19 was reported in Nepal yesterday. The Health Ministry also informed that 209 people recovered from the COVID-19 infection yesterday itself. Meanwhile, 2 people died of the virus infection yesterday, taking the corona-related death toll to 11,596 in Nepal. 14 people were killed in separate road accidents in various places of the country. 8 people have been killed when a bus skidded off the road at Lagua of Ribdikot Rural Municipality, Ward No. 2 in Palpa district yesterday. The District Police Office Palpa has identified the deceased as Pashupati Rasaili and Khum Bahadur Rana of Putwal, Ward No. 17, Vijay Thapa Chetri of Putwal, Ward No. 11, and Bajendra Bika, Sankar Bika, Mohan Kumar and Arjun Bika of Malarani, Ward No. 2 of Argahachi. Identity of another deceased is yet to be confirmed. The police said they were investigating the cause of the incident. Likewise, 3 people died in a motorbike accident in Sarlahi yesterday. The police has identified the deceased as Arjun Singh, Shravan Bika and Rahan Singh of Ishwarpur municipality in the district. Likewise, 3 people died in 2 separate road accidents in Mahottari district. The police said Ajay Shaha from Chandranagar Ward number 7 of Sarlahi, Roshan Thakur from Minara Siswa Ward number 5 and Bhuvan Prasad Upadhyay of Bardibas municipality Ward number 5 died in the accidents. Minister for Communication and Information Technology Gyanendra Bahadur Karki has said literature, art and music are effective tools to link the country to the world. Releasing a book at a program organized by Nepal Academy of Fine Arts in Kathmandu yesterday, Minister Karki said art and literature were significant for positive transformation of the society. Minister Karki also stated that the government had aimed at ensuring peace, rule of law and good governance to build a prosperous nation. On the occasion, the minister released a book on Nepali art and artist penned by Dr. Ramkumar Bhaukaji, Social Political Dynamics of Nepalese Painting by Dr. Yam Prasad Sharma, and a book written on Nepali sculptures published by Nepal Academy of Fine Arts. You're listening to Radio Nepal's 8 a.m. English News Bulletin. On to some international updates now. Sudan's Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok has announced his resignation just weeks after he was reinstated in a controversial deal with the military. The army seized power in October and put Hamdok under house arrest, but he was reinstated following a power-sharing deal with the coup's leader. Protesters rejected the deal, demanding an entirely civilian political rule. His resignation followed another day of protest where medics said at least 2 were killed. A large fire has severely damaged the House of Parliament in South African city of Cape Town. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa visited the scene and called it a terrible and devastating event. According to the BBC, a man was being held and questioned by the authorities. It is said that the building's sprinkler system had not functioned properly. President Ramaphosa said news of the fire was a terrible setback. Dozens of firefighters battled the flames. Officials later said the entire parliamentary complex was severely damaged. Flight cancellations in the United States have hit a new peak due to the COVID pandemic and bad weather. According to air traffic site FlightAware, nearly 4,400 flights around the world were cancelled on Saturday. Among the flights, more than 2,500 flights were cancelled in the United States. Airlines have been struggling with staffing problems with crew quarantining after contracting COVID-19. Now, the general weather forecast for the country for today. According to the Meteorological Forecasting Division, the weather will be partly cloudy in the country. There are also chances of light snowfall at 1 or 2 places of the eastern high mountainous region. With this, we have almost come to the end of this news from Radio Nepal for this hour. But before wrapping it up, let's have a reminder of the headlines once again. CPN Maoist Centre Chairperson Prachanda proposes name list of 236 Central Committee members. Prime Minister Shabadu Deva stresses on guarantee of rule of law and human rights for development of democracy. Health Ministry urges concerned bodies to adopt additional precaution to curb spread of Omicron variant of COVID-19. Separate road accidents in Palpa, Mahottari and Sarlahi kill 14 people. And Sudan's Prime Minister Abdullah Hamdok announces his resignation, but just weeks after he was reinstated in a controversial deal with the military. Well, that's all the news we have for this bulletin. Our next bulletin in English will be at 2 in the afternoon. You can also listen to us online at our website www.onlineradionepal.gov.np. Also, do check our English news portal at www.onlineradionepal.gov.np/English. Keep listening to Radio Nepal and have a good day.